No matter where you stand on the issue of Medicaid expansion, there are some facts you can't ignore. Before the expansion, 1 out of every 4 Louisiana adults did not have health care coverage. Today, 2 years into the expansion, state health officials say the uninsured rate is about 1 in 10. What would you say pluses and minuses are of the system that we have in place now? Now, a sit down with 2 Louisiana women, both HIV positive, leading the fight against HIV/AIDS. Why will it be women who close the door on this epidemic?
Because we're tired.
How concerned should people be about HIV and AIDS, and what can be done to bring the number of cases down? We're going to start with our studio audience, and Sylvia, let me begin with you. You work with a group called Gilead. When Miss USA is crowned Sunday night, it means 50 of the 51 contestants could be wondering, okay, what now? Enter IST. They're a national facilities management company based in Atlanta, and they could answer that for some of them.
Miss USA 2014 is...
Now, when the state began its film tax credit package 14 years ago, the plan was to lure in movie makers and provide jobs for people who live here. The result, Louisiana gained world status on the silver screen. When the law changed last summer, production plummeted. So where do we stand now? Tonight, the state of Hollywood South. An example of what makes this cost-effective, what makes it green, is using recycled materials. Water bottles. A water bottle. That's what this matrix mesh is made from. We'll never know if Nicole was even exactly aware of what came next. The police report says a car moving at 61 miles per hour was speeding towards her from behind. Did she have time to notice, or was it just too sudden?
Tip-off for LSU, Kentucky, an hour away. 2Andre Moreau here with the Big Three and the LSU students. We hope it's historic. As a matter of fact, you can tell the headline, intensity. The Tigers will need intensity tonight. And I've brought 3 of the most intense people together right now. The legendary Dale Brown and the top cheerleaders of the year, Dee Bro, Fran Flory, basketball and gymnastics coaches at LSU. They have taught the student body how to cheer and retaught them this year. And Coach Brown, when you saw the ramp all the way down, lined up with students to Nicholson Drive, what was your thought?
Coming in, I said to Jim Talbot, I said, you know, it would be great someday to see them go around the ramp. 2 minutes later, I drove up, and there they were. So this is Def Dome. And Fran and Dee, what they're doing, that's
Isn't
first,
it amazing?
that's
Have you
first class.
seen them? You're in the front row for this every game.
Hey, I work with students outside. Are you
Yes, we
kidding
will.
me? I filmed them. I was outside giving them candy. I want a sugar high tonight.
All right, and Fran, you're right there too?
Hey, we're right in there. We'll get them going for them.
All right, students, anybody ready? You ready? Yeah? Coach, I think they're ready. Huh? LSU, Kentucky? Yes. That's right. 53 minutes to tip off LSU, Kentucky, Def Dome. It should be fun, right?
Oh, it's going to be great.
Coach, a big victory, huh, Coach?
Well, let's hope it is.
hope it
It
is.
should be a great game.
Should be a great game.
Johnny's
All right.
got a big load to pull, but I think he can do it.
All right. Guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate it so very much. Send it back to you in the studio.
I'm 2Andre Moreau. My special report, turning down the heat. Plus, not a win for LSU baseball, but a reason. Plus, Jay's big holiday forecast next.
This is 9 News at 10.
Well, one step forward, how many steps back? East Baton Rouge moves a little closer to building a new prison. Louisiana's accounts will be $200 million richer starting tomorrow. The state will get the money as the first portion of the settlement with BP for economic damages stemming from the 2010 oil spill. The U.S. Congress is helping to dig Puerto Rico out of a massive $70 billion hole. Senators passed a bipartisan bill not to bail out the island, but to buy leaders there more time.
You know it's no secret Louisiana summers can mean sweltering heat, and it can quickly turn dangerous.
Well, tonight, the 9 News investigators reveal another tool that you can add to your list of safety measures in turning down the heat. We left this car in the sun, and it creates the ultimate greenhouse effect. The glass is an insulator, the dark surfaces, everything hot to the touch, the temperature 120 degrees, and after a few minutes, we're talking about danger for you. Now, we did tests over 10 minutes, 20, 30, an hour, 2 hours, and more than 3 hours, just to give you that information. CSC Customs, the cost, you wonder? Well, the more mainstream high-level tinting that they told me about, it's not ceramic or solar reflecting, $269. That's for a car. The cost of Pro Nano, $80 more, $349. Now, online right now at WAFB.com, we've got much more information that you can use to keep your family safe. In seconds, a fun pool party with kids laughing ends. A child goes under without a sound and never comes up.
You want to change that scenario? Tonight in Healthline, Graham Elkins with a simple way to keep everyone safe.
You remember that team that ended LSU's season? These are their fans at the Myrtle Beach International Airport, waiting for them to come home as World Series champions. Next news at 4:30. We'll see you tomorrow. Here one day, the next day gone, and not a word from an award-winning Bruley High School teacher and mother. Well, tonight, those who loved her open up about this nightmare. Even her elusive husband, for the first time, is talking about the search for Sylviane.
There was nobody in my life like her.
A mother who adored her child.
That's what she lived for.
A trusted friend.
Just a highlight of my day.
A teacher students admired.
And she was always just happy and excited to teach us.
My name is Sylviane Fink. I teach French 1, 2, and 3 at Bruley High School.
What happened to Sylviane Fink Lozada, missing now almost 1,000 days, remains a mystery that saddens, frustrates, and infuriates those who miss her.
I haven't wrapped my mind around it because it just seems impossible that somebody you see every day, someone that you talk to, for them just to disappear and there's no explanation. I need to go over this again.
Karen Woolley and Sylviane went way back. Both longtime teachers at Bruley.
The fourth 9 weeks for you.
Best friends who traveled together as single women and who stood next to each other when each married. Name a person you could depend on, her friends say, and Sylviane was that person. Not someone who would just vanish, not someone who would abandon her daughter. The night before she was last heard from, excitement filled the air for the 4th of July fireworks here on the Mississippi. Then on the 5th, she called her family in Belgium, as she did every single day. Only that call from her home off Bluebonnet Boulevard in Baton Rouge would be her last.
Not a word. Nothing more from that day.
I spoke via Skype with her nephew and godson Anton Fink in Belgium.
You can't imagine how difficult is it to survive at this tragedy. Our life will never be the same.
This home video shows a beaming Sylviane with daughter Angelina, the absolute light of her life, friends say. Only 4 when her mom went missing. What do you do with the fact that she stopped being here one day and you don't know anything? Yeah, you were talking about what to do with that.
What does your brain do with missing?
While those left to wonder struggle to cope, Facebook pictures at least indicate that Sylviane's husband, Oscar Lozada, and their daughter Angelina have adjusted. On July 9th, 2011, 4 days after the last known word from her, Oscar took his daughter, flew to his native Venezuela, and as far as we know, has never returned. His Facebook page has pictures of Angelina, now 7, going fishing, winning a trophy for playing tennis. We see Oscar sharing laughs with friends.
If anybody disappeared, your dog, you're gonna look for them. Why would you just leave?
Authorities say foul play is possible based on items found inside the couple's home, including, according to court records, suspected blood in the garage. Oscar Lozada has never been named a suspect, but his behavior has always been questioned by police. For example, police want to know what he did with the cement mix and 5-gallon buckets he allegedly bought on July 6, 2011. Those items were never located, but police say receipts from Lowe's found in his Nissan Xterra showed the purchase. The SUV was left at Metro Airport. I contacted Oscar, and in a Facebook message to me, Oscar explained the items were being used in the remodel of their house, that a worker stole different materials being used, though he never specified the cement mix or buckets. East Baton Rouge Sheriff Sid Gautreaux has remained particularly quiet about this case, all but refusing to publicly talk about it. He again turned down our request to speak on camera for this report, instead issuing this statement saying the release of any further information can impede any progress. It also reads, "Our top priority is solving this case. I understand that it is probably very frustrating for friends and family when they are looking for answers." His country's constitution prohibits the extradition of Venezuelan nationals, so investigators have never been able to ask Oscar the many questions they'd like to ask him in person. As for his claims that Sylviane ran off with another man to Central America, there is no record of her passport or bank card ever being used. No trace of her since that July 5th. In another Facebook message to me, Oscar said he attempted to return 4 times with the help of the police department, but a problem with his daughter's passport has not allowed it. And what about little Angelina? Growing up without a mother she loved, and all the questions, and with a father who says he won't leave her side. Linda Bowie wonders,
Is Angelina maybe in as good of a place as she could possibly be right now with this man who I think is a monster?
And it now comes as no surprise, friends say their marriage was in trouble.
There was fights where one or the both of them would end up at my house, or where the sheriff was called.
According to police records, deputies were called to their Spring Lake address December 3rd and December 31st of 2010. On that New Year's Eve, she wound up at Our Lady of the Lake Hospital with bruises. She said Oscar pushed her down the stairs, those records say. On Facebook, Oscar messaged me, "I never touched Sylviane in a violent way." Bowie says Sylviane never pressed charges, fearing Oscar would take their daughter and leave the country. She believes more than one person took part in Sylviane's disappearance.
I would hope that if somebody is out there that they would find a conscience and that they would come out and they would talk. And that's one of the reasons why I'm talking to you, is that it would prick somebody's conscience.
In the meantime, friends and loved ones keep her name out there on social media. In Belgium, they released balloons in her honor. Bruley High dedicated this garden in her memory. For all of them, the unknown is agonizing. It haunts them.
If anyone knows anything about what happened, we beg you to come forward.
Now, the last words message to me from Oscar Lozada just yesterday, he says he wants to return here, says Louisiana is my home, quote, not Venezuela.